very much for coming today, folks. Declarations of conflict of interest. I see one. Greg, you were in conflict on number one, so we're going to move number one down to number three, or down to C, and we'll do the other two first, and hopefully we'll find get another member for quorum. So I need approval of that agenda. And moved by Councilor Hancock.
I'll second.
And seconded by Tara. Thank you very much. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's good. And Wayne, you good? Wayne, can you turn your mic on?
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah. Cool. Just I'll try and refer to each time. So you're in favor? Great. Okay. Thank you. Adoption of the minutes. I'll need a mover and a seconder for the minutes of the October 19th meeting.
I'll move.
Moved by Tara, seconded by Greg. Thank you very much, folks. All those in favor? Put your hand up, please. We're good. Wayne?
Yep.
Good, thank you. Any business arising from those minutes? I see none. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll go into reports, and we'll start with 241 Prince Street, pin number 346239. And I believe, Todd, you got the floor.
Okay, can we see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so 241 Prince Street is it's a brick Romanesque revival style. It was built in 1887, designed by Phillips and Chappell. It's sort of typical of that style. Is it's sort of wide and squat in appearance. It's got massive thick walls, deep set windows made of masonry, and fairly decorative, asymmetrical. We have a historic photo. It would be here, showing it. The photo shows the west side of Prince Street between Fitzroy and Euston. So this is the building that we're looking at. It's just outside of the main commercial area. It's got a number of designated properties around it. So the current application is to put an addition on the back side. The addition would essentially cover where the deck is now. It would come a little bit further into the backyard and would come all the way across to the driveway side of the property. It'd be 30 feet into the backyard, and it would be about 41 feet on the full width of the building. So this shows a plan of the existing driveway, the existing deck, and the driveway sort of cuts the corner here. In the proposed addition, the addition fills that corner in across the full area where the deck would be, plus a little extension here into what is now the driveway.
Are there any parking issues with this, Todd?
I don't think so. One of the planners is taking a look at that side of things.
Okay.
But I think they will still be able to have enough parking there.
Good.
So it's a one-story addition, flat roof. It just cuts across here. It's a wood-clad, so it's a different style, if you will, than the Romanesque revival. That's a lot of masonry, heavy brick with, I think, stone lintels. It shows 3 pairs of casement windows and double garden doors, an access door out on the north side with stairs that would come down. From the south side, or the driveway side, again, there's 2 sets of casement windows. In this case, they are fixed, they're non-operable. The main part of the addition ends here, and then there's the other little piece that cuts into what is now the parking area. Again, it's set back slightly from the existing building on this side. It's a wood clapboard, so it's different than its contrast, if you will, to the main style of the building. And this shows the north side with the exit or entry stair. The 2 floor plans, the main floor shows the operable casement windows, and they have a guardrail on the interior side. the staircase comes up in here. And this is the basement floor plan that would have the kitchen in it. These are some shots showing existing windows on the building. The windows are very similar to what we have at City Hall, which is another Romanesque revival style. Typically, they have they're 2/2 with a 8 or 6 pane transom above. You see some of the original ones in some of the top photos. The second story of the building, the windows have been replaced at some point. I should say the proposed windows on the drawings indicate that they're vinyl. I gave a call to the engineering firm that's doing the work, or architectural firm, and they said they would make them wooden if that's what was required, which is required really under the bylaw.
That's good.
So I guess from my perspective is, do we think the casement windows are okay, given all other windows in the building are hung because it contrasts with the rest of the building? Do we want to propose any changes? Do we think that it just, the overall design is okay, given the rest of the building?
I would like to see those new windows match more the style of what's on the front with the transom. The cladding that is the clapboard cladding already distinguishes it as an addition, but it, you know, this to my mind would be more pleasing, at least on the side, to have those windows. I'd want them all to match with a transom and the you know, what's on the side in the bay window, for example. I'd rather see that than. Now, I don't know what, Greg. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's first of all, it's appropriate to contrast with the original house. This is probably the finest Romanesque revival house in Charlottetown, and you don't want to confuse history. I do like the multi-pane of those windows. I guess the purpose of those, they act like French doors, like a French balcony, correct? That they would open out, but you can't go through it. So
they're fixed on the side, I believe.
Oh, they're fixed on the side, correct?
Just on the side, the back they do open though, and I think that is the intent.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that sense, I would view the addition, you know, even more as a sunroom, where we don't want to match the rest of the building.
Okay.
It's a possible way to look at it.
When I first saw the windows, I thought, well, you know, at least there are mutton bars and the windows are broken up. If they were, you know, plate glass, then that would just be
wrong.
too far. But the way that they are, I think they do nod, but different enough.
Yeah.
Contrasts and complements. So I think it'll be quite handsome.
And what about the doors that we see here?
The garden doors are very busy.
I find the panes too many.
Too much.
Yeah. Compared to the other ones, it seems like they could be simplified. I mean, even for doors, they could go muttonless.
Yeah. If we think that's the direction they should go, I think they're willing to entertain those ideas.
Yeah. Let the doors be patio doors.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little,
Okay.
What they are. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks, Todd. We've had a few questions there. Any other questions, concerns? I don't think there is. Okay,
Anna?
oh,
I have a question,
okay, go ahead.
and this might be more of a planning board and not heritage. I noticed that the property use is listed as a bed and breakfast. Is it a bed and breakfast, or is it an STR, or is it an apartment building? I'm just a bit. If anyone can send me, I'm just curious.
You're right. That's a planning question.
That would be Alex.
Yeah.
Can you folks hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can can certainly check the zoning. I'm pretty confident that it's zoned differently. It's in the part of the downtown, but as a part of the review to make sure that the parking is there, we can ensure that there isn't any issue there. I don't think there is, but we will certainly, after this call, make sure that that is the case, but I think it's been that way for some time.
You know, and one of the planners does have the file and is looking at it as well.
So, maybe what we'll do is, we'll ensure. I mean, it would be a matter of anything, a matter of any building permit. You have to comply with the zoning. But the nice thing about the question is we'll be able to respond back to the applicant very quickly if there is a problem that they need to. They will be notified of that very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, Councillor Yankoff, for a great question, and we'll follow up. Any other questions or concerns? I see none, so I guess I'll be looking for a motion to approve this application with the patio doors being just regular. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll move.
Okay, good.
I'll second.
Moved by Greg, second by Tara. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Or I'm having trouble seeing everybody, but I guess, and then is there anybody that's not in favor? I guess that'd be the easiest way. I don't see any. Okay, great. That's passed. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so next will be 185 Houston Street. It's for an exterior renovation and replacement of a garage, PID number 360123. Todd, you got it.
Sure. So again, it's a proposal for exterior renovations. The board had discussed it in May 2021. The house itself dates to 1864, which is a kind of significant year, and it still has a fairly large lot size associated with it. It's on the corner of Euston Street and Walton Drive. The other properties, the shown in red here, are all designated properties. We have a circa 1930s photo of the building that shows the front veranda, and also that bump out sunroom is not in this photo, so that's a later than 1930 edition. So when we discussed it last time, Heritage Board had identified a number of issues with the proposal, one of which was the connection, if you will, between the sunroom bump out and the main part of the building. The windows feel quite awkward here.
Yeah.
And so we did ask the applicant to address that. So the applicant is going to adjust the size of the windows on the bump out, really narrow them a little bit to allow some of the siding to come into the corner space. The rear side of the property, we didn't have any drawings for, and we agreed it was less significant, if you will. They are going to reclad the entire building in wood clapboard, at least on the front. Possibly all four sides, or wood clapboard on the front with wood shingles on the remaining sides. And the back, they will put a new fire stair in that meets required codes. And they want to replace all the windows in the building. We had asked that at least three sides, they retain wood windows, which they've agreed to do. And the back side, they're applying to put vinyl windows in. This is the original proposal drawings. They haven't changed the drawings, but we had also asked them to not put the peak here on the veranda, which they're willing to do as well. The entire garage was a bit of an issue. They had wanted to remove the existing garage and build a new one with a couple of units in it, and I think through the planning process that was proven challenging. So this garage, as it's shown here, is no longer proposed. They have had drawings done now to replace the existing garage with essentially the same as what they have, what's existing.
Okay.
This is just another view of the proposal drawings. The whole building again is clad and it's all new windows. The original photo showed a railing around the veranda. They don't want to replace that railing. Instead, they intend to put a wrought iron fence around the entire perimeter of the property. These were the drawings that were submitted for the changes. And again, the garage is no longer to be like that. These are the new drawings for the new proposed garage, which essentially replaces what is there. At one story only. And that's it.
Todd, it looks like those the drawings, like one page back, the windows are, there you go. There are 2/2 on the main house, and I think that's original. But you see some 6/6s on the northeast elevation.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't looked at that recently, Greg. I think that is what is there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can see here that they were 6/6.
Okay.
And down here they're 2/2. And even on the front they were 2/2. I'm sure they'd be willing, and it's actually cheaper if they put them all 2/2. But I think they were trying to replicate what is still there.
Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, as long as they're.
Yeah, I can't quite see and I can't quite recall, but in this photo clearly they are 6/6.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
So then that's fine. So, the images there, it showed 6/6s, but that's with the old garage, those 3D.
Right. Yeah.
But the 2/6 is more appropriate. So.
And actually, maybe on this garage they should be 2/2. The 6/6 is very busy here.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, Todd.
Nice. I like this much better than the dormers on the other cars. That just was incongruous.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a great effort on this building.
Yeah, it's keeping the heritage look really well, I think. And just to see them, when you see the client wanting to, duplicate windows that were there originally, it's kind of nice. Even though, like Greg said, but at the end of the day, I think it's good to see that they're trying to support what was there before, and that's what we're here for. So that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
Any other questions, concerns, folks?
Atlanta?
It's Wayne here. I just have one quick question. What cladding is on the rear or being proposed?
Oh, it would be either wood clapboard or wood shingle. Most likely wood clapboard on the whole building.
Right, I wasn't quite clear.
Thank you, Wayne.
How does the garage to be clapboards as well? Because that looks like
It is. It is. The building, at one point they were going to, I think, leave some of it white and some clear coat. And we had suggested they use a more heritage color, even though we don't regulate color, and they've agreed to do that. I think maybe they're still looking at clear coat cedar shingles on the garage. And I'm assuming by clear coat, I'm assuming that they may sort of be more of a natural stain.
right.
I vote for the heritage colors myself.
I'll pass the message along, but we don't really regulate color.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just send that little tidbit along, Terry.
Sure. Me too.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? I see not. Okay, so the,
Yes, my hand is waving, yes.
oh, I can't see you.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. There
and
you
it's
are.
really- yeah, it's really just a comment. I just think that they have done an incredible job at
Yes.
this. I would most certainly move to support this. I think it's just such it's going to be such an improvement to that street. I just think it's gorgeous. So I will move to approve that. Yep.
I'd agree. And they've been lovely to work with as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home, really. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so saying that from Councilor Yankoff, she will move the motion to send this off. The
I'll
proposed
second.
alterations, and seconded by Tara. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Raising it, but I don't think my,
Yeah, you're not there right now, Tara. I don't know where you're
yeah.
at. But I got you. And Wayne, you're good?
I'm supporting, yep.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. So that's passed. Thank you very much. I guess the next point is we got to let Greg leave. He's in conflict. So can we? Is this something, Todd, that we could do by an email vote, maybe?
Sure. Maybe we just want to discuss it at this point.
Well, I think that was my next question. Is we can discuss it, we just can't vote on it, right? Right.
Yeah, Just quick question, Ellen, do I just, oh, okay. I see the button for me to leave. So, yeah, Cassie Burho is going to present on behalf of my firm, and our Fratcham is here from the church. So, see you later.
Okay,
Great.
thank you very
Bye,
much, Greg. Bye-bye, take care.
Bye.
Okay, so we're looking at 101 Prince Street, and it's an addition and ramp reconfiguration of the driveway. So I'll let Cassie or Todd start off.
Yeah, Cassie, I'll just go ahead and introduce it, and then we'll pass it over to Cassie. So we have 101 Prince Street. And just for a bit of clarity, it refers to St. Paul's Church Hall. There's really three buildings on the property. The Church Hall is on the corner of Richmond and Prince Street. St. Paul Church, really it owns all three of the buildings on the site. The hall is a 1906 building designed by Benjamin Chappell, and the application is to add an accessibility ramp on the rear side and to allow the parking access to exit out onto Church Street. With this proposal, I just can't, I need to underline the significance of Queen Square. It was first identified in the 1771 Wright-Patterson map of the city. It represents the seat of government for the entire province and the eventual formation of the country. It was laid out to allow for a church, a courthouse, and a jail. Eventually, a market building was also constructed, and for a time, the square was divided by two streets that ran north-south, Church Street that we still have, and Market Street on the other end, where Confederation Center sits now. And only Church Street remains, but much of the original space was intended for rent, and it's now been occupied. So, given that Confederation Center is at the west end, most of the green space runs through the center and the east end, and it gains a whole lot more significance. In 2016, we had an application from the church that went through the Heritage Board to increase the parking lot in width a little bit and to take it out onto Church Street. Heritage Board was not in favor of increasing more asphalt in the area, particularly with the access out onto Church Street, where it would meet the Coles building. So the church agreed to widen it, I think, by 6 feet, and at that time extend it back as far as the back end of the church hall, which was done. So that part of the application, I think, is sort of back again, and it now includes a ramp next to the building. I'll just provide that as a little bit of background, and we can pass that over to Cassie to give us her input.
Hear me at all? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. Are you able to hand over the screen for the slides, or shall I share my own?
You have a presenter role, so you can share your screen, Cassie.
Okay.
I'm not seeing Cassie at all, so I'm probably not going to see the screen either.
I don't have a webcam, unfortunately, but I think you should be able to still see the screen. I'm just in the process of sharing it.
Okay, thank you.
Are you able to see it now?
Yep, got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So just to start off, the mission of Sinkholes is to serve the community through outreach and social action and helping to empower people to strive for justice and for peace and for respect and dignity for all human beings. And in order to better serve their outreach program and their parishioners, St. Paul's has determined that there are some safety and accessibility issues that need to be addressed. The history of Charlottetown is reflected in the history and the centrality of Queen Square, and this is a history of change. At the founding of Charlottetown, Queen Square was designated as the center of government, commerce, justice, and religion. And in this 1880s bird's eye view, we see a snapshot in time that shows an iteration of this mandate. From left to right, we see the market, post office, province house, and the law courts and St. Paul's Church. This image shows the second of 3 markets on the site, the first of 2 post offices, and the second of 3 churches. The history of Queen Square is one of change and evolution in order to meet the needs of the people. St. Paul's itself decided to replace this church with the current one to meet the needs of a growing congregation. A decade after that, they replaced the infant schoolhouse with the current hall. The interior of the hall went under major renovations in the 60s to better accommodate the evolving use of the space. The history of St. Paul's, like the history of Queen Square, is to change to meet the needs of its congregants and the people of Charlottetown, and to stay relevant and to serve the community. Central to St. Paul's vision is the need for belonging. They acknowledge that developing a sense of belonging is vital for people who are new to the parish, but that it's also important to maintain a sense of belonging for longtime members. And that is why they wish to eliminate as many roadblocks as possible so that anyone and everyone is welcomed there. All the buildings on the square are part of a bigger story, and that is the story of PEI. Following the tradition of the site's development, we propose to take the words of St. Paul's mission literally and to make the hall accessible to all its current members and demonstrate that they are open to newcomers regardless of their physical challenges. Although the buildings are historically and architecturally significant, they are also hardworking, well-used, and well-loved buildings. Their design and location speak to the needs of their day, but they fall short of meeting the needs of today's users in terms of physical accessibility. The existing parking configuration forces cars to drive or back out onto Richmond Street at high traffic area in front of the rec center with parallel parking along the street on both sides. This situation is hazardous for anyone backing out onto Richmond Street, as parked cars often block the view of drivers who are pulling into the traffic. This parking lot was originally the backyard of the rectory. Today, the house is rented to the provincial government as the offices of, among others, the Speaker of the House. And currently, there are 11 unmarked parking stalls, but 7 of those spaces are designated in the lease for the government employees working in the rectory. This slide demonstrates that there is no place to turn around. Once the ramp is installed, the parking lot will be even narrower, making turning around to drive out impossible. Vehicles frequently run into the hall while trying to turn around, causing damage to both the building and to their vehicles. Beyond the parking lot is a power pole. There's 2 large trees on the hump of the yard that marks the location for the previous church, which we won't be disrupting. So this is showing a topographical survey of the site. The gray area is the current parking lot, showing the existing porch at the side door. Note here that the asphalt fills the space completely between the buildings, right up to the sidewalk, and this distance between is only 38 feet from building to building, where the necessary width stated in bylaw 44.5.2 is 20 feet for two-way traffic lane and 20 feet for the parking stall. This shows that we are currently 2 feet shy of meeting this requirement. This slide is showing our proposed modification to the site. We plan to soften the edges of the asphalt, removing any unnecessary asphalt to create green space and planting opportunities. The lower portion of the ramp will be a slope that does not require railings, and that is to limit the vertical impact on the site. The dashed line is representing the existing asphalt, and as you can see, the ramp cuts into the paved area, which would make it even harder for cars to turn around at this end, if not impossible, if this lane is not added. The greatest benefit for the ramp and the lane, however, is the drop-off location. If this plan is realized, Pat and the Elephant and similar type vehicles will now have access to the site, and they'll be able to bring people to the hall that weren't able to get there before. The ramp and the lane speak directly and literally to the mission of St. Paul's and that of eliminating roadblocks. In this late 19th century image, with the existing trees and fence along where we're proposing this lane would come through. The image below is a Google Maps screenshot of the same location, showing that the lane will be tucked in next to the rectory and be confined to this area. The new lane will not impede on the large lawn where the old church was located. If the new laneway is allowed, St. Paul's would be willing to plant a hedge along the north side of the screen to screen the asphalt from the churchyard and to help maintain the park-like setting. They would also be willing to reinstate the picket fence for enhanced screening if that is found to be desirable. The bottom right-hand image here is the inverse, showing how the lane will be hidden by the trees and will have minimal impact on the site. The ramp construction will be confined to the left of the power pole, and this is the only potential location for an accessibility ramp. There's two other entrances to the hall. One is off of Prince Street, which has the large covered porch, but it's set high above the street. The other one is at ground level on Richmond Street, and inside that vestibule there is a chairlift that goes to the floor hall, but unfortunately it's too small to accommodate powered wheelchairs, which some of the congregants have there used. So this slide shows the architectural precedence that was used in the design, showing the curved slope of the church entrance here, and the stylized columns that support the vault of the Prince Street porch. So the following images are of the ramp design. It is divided into two components, the curved sloping walk up from the ground level to a wood structure that connects the walk to the door. The reason for this division was to eliminate the requirement for a switchback ramp and to keep the scale of the ramp down so as not to overpower the site and detract from the building. The ramp directs the user toward the view of the church as they're exiting across the lawn and then back toward the drop-off lane. This shows that the planting area that will be space reclaimed from the existing asphalt. The deck of the ramp will either be a rot-resistant wood or a composite deck material for durability with a weathered gray finish. The columns are based on those of the front porch and will have lanterns on the parking lot side for the purpose of lighting the ramp, the parking area, and the base of the ramp, and also for security and safety. Here we see the steel handrails within the guardrails. And finally, the square spindles that are happening in a tight rhythm speak to the porch example and help to screen the underside of the ramp, as well as providing security and architectural interest. The color is to harmonize with the sandy buff color of the wall of sandstone detailing of the church building. In conclusion, the ramp and the lane are codependent aspects and will work together to enhance the use of the building and help fulfill St. Paul's mission. We feel that the impact to the site will be minimal, tucked into the edge of the site, and will not detract from the historical nature of the site. In fact, it will help keep the use of the site and its buildings relevant and accessible for 21st century use. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Cassie, and welcome to Heritage Board, by the way. We got to do that at the start. But yes, any questions for Cassie?
I just want to make the comment that it's an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And I'm going to comment the same thing, that I think this is just going to enhance the opportunity for reuse and stuff, and it's certainly, I think it looks great too.
So I do have a question for Alex, I guess, as part of more of a planning thing. Any concerns with it, driveway coming out onto Church Street from a public works police perspective?
Well, Church Street is the less busy street, so that's a positive. But I don't know whether Todd had the opportunity to speak to Scott, but that's typically the street that should be directed to, which it's the lesser of the busy streets in that locale. But again, we can confirm that with Scott.
Yeah, I didn't have the application long enough to be able to circulate it. However, in 2016, when we looked at the application, they didn't have any issue at that point.
Okay. No, my only concern is it basically, it's one lane, right? You have cars parked on the opposite side. And then, of course, the other concern for Cassie would be is how are you going to prevent people from parking in there? When bowling and the house is in sitting, you have an awful lot of traffic in that area. I just wonder, people will say, oh, geez, I'm going to go in there. Any thoughts on that?
We do actually have, as this lane will take away about 3 parking spaces from this area, we plan for 3 additional spaces along here. So there is space for parking there, but hopefully if someone's parked here, that's enough of an indicator not to park directly across from them.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, as far as Heritage is concerned, we'll let planning look after that end of it. I just thought I'd ask just simply because I didn't hear anything in the report, but it's not necessarily to be here anyway. So, so I guess moving forward, Councillor Yankoff has a question. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. More just a comment as the councillor for the area. I've heard nothing but positive feedback in terms of anything that the church property has done, and I don't see this as taking away from the building, and I definitely will be supporting this from a heritage perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. I do see Philip Brown calling me here on the phone. Did we want to pause for a second, see if I can get him to call in? And,
good idea.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Hey. Hi, Philip. How are you? Hang on one second.
I only have another couple seconds, Terry.
So
okay.
I'm the same. I'm
gotta go. But are you able to call in right quick and vote on something, or are you not comfortable like that?
Let's see if I can call in. Just
what it is? It's. Yeah. Okay. We'll tell you what. It's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair for you though, because you're voting on something. Just that word. Okay. Hang on. Okay.
I'll call you right back.
Okay. Thank you. So he is going to try and connect there with Ellen. So enjoy, Ellen.
Can I put my vote in without sticking on? If I do that?
I don't. No, you know what we'll do? If Philip doesn't hook on and you got it, and if you guys have to go, we can simply do the email.
That's an excellent idea, Terry.
I just thought if you had,
yeah. No, you can come in. Sorry. I have students now that I have to get off for. Yeah. So I'm going to have to disconnect now too. So
okay.
I'll respond to the email. Sorry.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye.
And Ellen, and bye, Terry. So Ellen, if the mayor calls you, just let him know that we'll be sending an email out and he can vote then. Maybe Ellen's not there, is she?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so the mayor is going to try and reach you there, but you can just tell him we're going to do it by email.
Okay, I will.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. Okay, folks, is there any other questions or concerns on that for now? I think we're good. Is there someone here that want to be from St. Paul's? Unmute your. Can't hear it. Can you hear him, Todd?
No, I can't. No. But Clara, if you want to give a call anytime, I can pass along any comments in an email to the board.
Carrie, you're muted to us unless you're talking to somebody else.
No, that was just the mayor, Alex. I was just telling him we're going to do by email. Yeah. Okay, so we'll, I guess there's nothing else but to adjourn, so I need a motion. Moved by Alana, seconded by, you there, Wayne?
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay, you can second that. Thank you very much. All those in favor? And Wayne, you're in favor?
Yep.
We're good to go, folks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah,
Terry.
bye-bye. Yes.
Terry, can we actually adjourn with when we don't have a quorum?
Well, that's the other problem. I guess.
It's gonna be in the meeting forever.
Actually, Ellen, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
I'm just questioning whether we can adjourn. That's right. Or do we continue, just make a continuation? I'm not sure. Because we didn't have quorum.
That I'm not sure, but I think we can adjourn.
Yeah, because that's the reason why you're adjourning, is because you don't have quorum, right? Yeah. So, it's either that or we can add it to the first of the next meeting. We call it official that way, I guess. I don't know what other options there'd be. Any thoughts, Alex?
Look, we have to adjourn. we can't be here all day. So I think you're okay because the adjournment is that you're shutting down the meeting because of the lack of a quorum. So I think it should be okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Okay, we're good to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.